And these are all things that we pay way too much for. What's up everyone, welcome back to Free to Be, David here, and in today's video I want to talk about some things that we all inevitably will overpay for at some point in our lives. Now, this isn't going to be some comprehensive list, so if you feel that I've left something off, just let me know in the comments down below, but I thought I'd share the list that I created here just so you're aware of some common things that people tend to overpay for. And I think all of these are pretty important, so you're definitely going to want to watch this entire video. Now, as always, before I get started, if you are new to my channel, I cover financial literacy here in an effort to track my progress to financial independence, and hopefully by doing that I'm creating valuable content that others can use as well. So if you haven't done so already, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button down below. Your support really does mean a lot to me and does help my channel. And if you're not new, thank you for coming back. Alright, so let's talk about some common things that people, inevitably overpay for at some point in their lives. And I'm definitely not excused from this either, because I've paid too much for some of these things myself. But the lesson here is that you learn. And not all of these are going to be something where it's going to create this life-changing savings by eliminating something out of your life or changing brands to something else. But these little amounts will add up. So if you're aware of them, a few of these changes will impact your life positively. All right, so let's get right into the list. So the first item on this list is brand named foods and products. Now, a lot of the brand names that we've come to know did file patents that protected their ingredients and the different things that went and made those products unique. But most of these patents have since expired. It's probably been 10, 20, 30 years ago that a lot of these patents started expiring, and then competitors started basically coming up with their own formulas that were close to those brand name brands and putting those products out there. And that's why you'll see a lot of generic brands when you go grocery shopping, for example. And in this example, we'll use something such as Cheerios, a popular cereal that a lot of people are familiar with. That brand costs about $4.99 for a box of cereal, whereas you can go and switch and get the alternative, which is almost exactly the same, for $1.99. It's store brand, the generic brand of that cereal, which tastes almost exactly alike. Now, I'm not saying that you have to cut out all brand names out of your life, right? There's certain times where we prefer brand names over a generic item. For example, if you're craving soda and you love Coca-Cola, you're not going to want to go for the generic brand. You might not even want to go for Pepsi. If you like Coke, you're going to go with Coke. And in that instance, fine, if you want to go ahead and get the brand name. But when you can't cut it out, if you do cut it out, you'll end up saving a lot of money in the long run. Because again, something like Cheerios, where it's $5 for a box of Cheerios versus $2 for the generic brand, that's $3 in savings. And even if that's only $3 a month, that adds up pretty quickly. That comes out to about $36, $40 a year of savings just by cutting that one thing out, by changing that one piece. And again, I do want to reiterate that none of these are going to be single item switches that are going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars, but they will add up. So you just have to look out for where you can save and save those costs accordingly. Now, the next thing on this list is buying a brand new car. A lot of us know, and if you don't know, when you buy a brand new car, the second that you drive it off of the dealership's lot, you end up losing thousands of dollars in value. That's why I never refer to cars as assets. They're just a thing, a good that you purchase, because they don't actually hold any value. And if you have to go take on a loan to pay for that car, by the time you're done paying it off, in terms of interest that you paid, the depreciating thing that it is, you'll have ended up losing a lot of money on that purchase. So instead, consider buying a low mileage, maybe a couple models old version of the car that you like. So for example, if you're in the market for a brand new Honda Accord, maybe go look at the 2018 or 2017 models instead that have maybe a couple thousand miles on them, because there are a lot of instances where people will buy cars and then not really end up using them as much. Maybe they don't need to use them as much as they thought they do, so they have relatively low mileage on those cars. And by saving that money, you can use that money elsewhere. Now, the next item on this list is contact lenses or eyewear in general. Now, just like anything else that you're shopping for, it's always great to shop around for the best deals available. And with contact lenses specifically, you should never purchase them them directly from your doctor because you're going to end up paying a way higher price. I know that my doctor offers a year's supply of my daily contact lenses for about $550, but I don't think in the past 3 or 4 years I've ever spent more than $300 for an annual supply of the same exact lenses. That's because I shop around and I use the internet to my advantage. So I'll browse a few different sites, look for promo codes, rebates, maybe use a card that gives me a cashback offer, and then I make my purchase from there. So again, it's really important to shop and don't just go with the first option. If you're at the eye doctor and you just got your prescription for your contact lenses and they're trying to pitch you and sell you a year's supply, don't feel like you have to pull the trigger. There's websites out there like Coastal Contacts, 1-800-CONTACTS that'll basically give you the same contacts at a much better value because there won't have to be a couple layers of markups that go through, you know, the contact lens manufacturer and then your doctor's office. These go and source them directly and bring them directly to you as a consumer, so you'll end up saving money that way. Now the next item on this list is something that I've been guilty of splurging on from time to time, and that is coffee. Now coffee is one of those things that can really quickly add up because while you might not think of a $2 a day purchase as being something that is going to make a huge impact on your life financially, when you add that up, if it's just, you know, during the work week, if it's 5 days a week, that's $10 a week, that's $40 a month, which ends up being almost $500 a year. You know, you can start adding it up pretty quickly. So that's one of those things where you can easily cut out of your life. If you enjoy your coffee every day and you want the best, then maybe make an investment. Maybe make a couple $100 investment up front. Get yourself a nice coffee machine or a nice espresso machine and make those things at home. Because yes, the initial expense will be high, but over the long run, over the life of those machines, those basically cups of coffee or espresso that you end up making for yourself are pennies on the dollar, and you'll end up actually saving a lot more money. So if you can do without it, try to avoid the daily visits to the coffee shop. Now, I do want to say that if you want to treat yourself every once in a while with a specialty drink that you can't make at home or you don't feel like making at home, that's fine. But you know, make those maybe once a month. Twice a month at most, maybe a $5 to $10 budget per month. But this whole visiting the coffee shop every single day for a $2, $3 drink or sometimes a $5 drink just really doesn't make sense. Now the next item on this list is bottled water. Now bottled water plays a role in two different ways. One, it's a huge waste of money because you're paying a couple dollars really for just the plastic bottle and the branding. And two, plastic bottles are bad for the environment, so the long-term impacts on our planet are also really bad. What you can do instead is invest in a filtration system. Buy yourself a filter that'll filter your tap water for you, which by the way, most tap water in our country is safe to drink. But if you prefer to filter your water, buy a filtration system and then buy a reusable container and fill that up daily. And that way you're saving the environment and your pocket. Because again, there's really no need to buy a $2, $3 bottle of water every time you're thirsty. We're gonna be going through a lot of water every single day because it just doesn't make sense to spend $2 to $3 a day on bottled water. Even if you were to buy them in the 1-gallon containers, it's still $1 a gallon. And if you're drinking a gallon a day, that's $5 a week, $7 a week. That really starts to add up. So just instead invest in the filtration system and just filter your own water. Again, completely unnecessary cost in our lives. Now the next item on this list is credit card interest. Yes, it's really weird because it's not really an item. It's something that is a part of something else, but it's something that we overpay for. There's absolutely no need to carry a balance on your credit cards when they also have high interest rates because you're effectively paying too much in interest for a purchase. So for example, if I bought a $100 item on my credit card that has a 29% interest rate, even if I bought that $100 item at, you know, a sale, and let's say, you know, normally the price of the item was $200 and I bought it for $100. After 1 year of not paying that amount down, I've effectively paid $130 for that amount. Now, obviously $100, you know, you say, how could you not pay for it if it's, you know, the minimum payments alone would cover it? Sure, but let's say you already have a $2,500 outstanding balance on your credit card, and then you charge another $100. By the time you end up paying that $100, if you're just paying minimum payments, you've probably paid close to the $200 original price of that item that you purchased. So don't overpay with credit card interest. Try to avoid credit cards as much as possible and try to leverage them to your benefit. If it's a zero interest balance transfer, that's one thing. If it's a zero interest cash advance that you can leverage into something else, that's completely fine too. If you're taking advantage of awards and cash cashback offers and clearing out the credit card every single month, completely fine. But when you're carrying a balance, you're going to be subject to those high interest rates, and it's just something that you're going to end up overpaying for. So avoid it if possible. And finally, the last item on this list that a lot of us overpay for is food delivery. Given the state of the world that we're in right now, a lot of us have been turning to Uber Eats over the past 4 or 5 months. I'm no different from you. In the beginning of this whole pandemic, when we were locked down, I was probably ordering Uber Eats 2 to 3 times a week. But guess what? Those costs start adding up. When you take into consideration their transaction fees, the delivery fee, and then the tip, before you know it, you're basically paying almost double the price of the food you're ordering in fees, which is absolutely crazy. And a lot of that is just our laziness. We don't want to go out and actually venture out and pick up the food ourselves, so we order it. And sure, time to time, that's fine. But if you can avoid it, avoid it. Stop relying on food delivery services to provide your food to you. If you want to go out and eat, and if you want to go pick it up, go pick it up. But the better alternative is just to shop and cook your meals at home, because not only is it healthier, but it's way more cost effective. All right, guys, well, that's all I had for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I hope you take something away from it. If you liked it, let me know what you thought in the comments down below and give me a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and see you next time.